going on, guys? This is Rashaad again with our real estate Q&A session of the week every Thursday, 12 o'clock. This is week 18. 18 weeks straight we've been doing this, trying to provide value for you guys. You guys already know what time it is, 12 o'clock. We're live every Thursday answering anything, everything real estate related. Make sure you guys tune in. But yeah, we're going to kick this show off today. We actually have a special guest that we're going to be bringing on, and I think this guest will actually be able to provide a lot of value for you guys, especially if you're looking to buy your first home, and if you're looking to, even if you're looking to buy your first home, your second home, whatever. This person named Maurice McKinney will be able to provide some value in regards to NACA, the program NACA. So I know a couple of you guys have asked about the program. I know a couple of you guys are interested in buying your first home and using a program like NACA to buy your first house or your second house. And so I felt like it was very beneficial to bring this guy on. We actually talked about 2-3 weeks ago. He spoke with us, all the agents at my brokerage, about NACA, the program, and I was like, hey, it'd be a great idea to have this guy come on to the show and also provide some value to you guys in regards to how to get into the program, how it works, and how it can be beneficial to you as you guys are on your home search to buy your first or second or third or 100th crib. Who knows, right? But again, every week, Thursday, 12 o'clock, we're here. Every Thursday, just want to make sure that you guys share the show, take a picture of the live session as we are talking, and then post that to you guys' story. So that's how you can show love to me. I show love to you guys every week by bringing on special guests, offering insight, gems, whatever you want to call it. The only thing I ask for you guys is to take a picture, screenshot, and then post that to your story, tag us in your story so people can find out what's going on. And remember, anybody that joins the live for the first time and starts asking questions is going to provide value to you, because what do we want? We want more questions, more concerns, more real life scenarios that we want to share, because when somebody else shares their pain points or what they're going through or what they would like to do or figure out, that might be something you didn't think about. It might be something that you didn't think about and something you want to ask as well. So that's the whole point of the show. I want to make sure we give Maurice some time. He hasn't tuned in yet. It's already 12:04, but we should be getting some folks in. You guys already know we have a decent crowd every week. Some of the same folks that show up, and I want to show love to you guys because obviously you guys have been consistent with showing up. Remember, we're 18 weeks in. That's nothing short of a blessing, and this actually took a lot for me to actually put on, because I'm not really vocal when it comes to like what I actually do. So the act of actually coming on here every week and talking to you guys about what I do and some of the things I've experienced and then answering questions was a big step for me. I'm glad I'm able to do it for 18 weeks straight, so I appreciate you guys for still tuning in and sending me DM saying, hey, this is great value. I appreciate you doing this for us. So again, thank you guys for doing that. So we'll of course give my man Maurice a couple more minutes. Actually, I want to tag and see if I can send him a ping right here. All right. So yeah, I just sent him a request. But yeah, other than that, in general, just for me personally, my business, we have. Pretty sure you guys know it's a pandemic right now, and we also have some things going on with the economy and renters. There's a lot of crazy things going on right now, and so when you think about that, and then you have your landlord, and you have tenants, they might be running into some financial issues and things like that. All this kind of stuff that you have to consistently think about, especially when tenants fall behind, and it's like, well, do we evict? Do we not evict? Like it's kind of crazy right now. So I have actually I have one house that's having some issues, and we're trying to work through it with them because they are renters and they have been treating the property very well. But these are things that you have to think about consistently. You have the banks; they still want their money. So guess what? That means that a lot of landlords are putting pressure on tenants to actually to pay their rent because obviously we can't sit here and continue to pay mortgage for a bunch of different houses and tenants aren't paying. So makes it a little tough scenario as a landlord to be in. Looks like we got Maurice in. What's going on? We already got our loyal people showing up. Sneaker Fiend, what's going on? Ashley, how you living? Let me get Maurice on here. Let's see, brother. How do I do the invite thing? Oh, wait. Hold on, Maurice. I think he's still in here. Hold on, guys. Oh, there he goes, right there.
Yeah. What's going on, Ashley, with the hand wave? How you doing? What's going on,
Hey, what's
brother?
going on, man? How you doing, brother?
Good, man. It's another day, another dollar.
For sure.
You
For
know,
sure.
how you
Don't
how you
stop.
doing over there?
Man, I'm blessed, man. I just had a good team with my agents. We were talking about, we had an accountant on the call, and he was
Yeah.
giving us tax tips and, how to, incorporate ourselves. Well, I'm already incorporated, but as a job as a broker, just making sure my agents have that information, like how
Yeah.
Jay-Z say, I'm not a businessman, I'm a
I'm busy,
businessman.
man.
You know what I'm saying? It's a real thing. It's a real thing, and you
Yeah.
can save a lot of money by doing that.
Yeah. Of course. Of course. Of course. And taxes are a lot of these tax strategies and things like that aren't necessarily taught. You got to learn. You got to learn from somebody that's like in the game, that's been
For
doing
sure.
it for a while. Because again, a lot of this real estate stuff and just investing in general, it's not in books. It's not in the books that are in school. I'll say that.
Yeah.
You got to go out and actually seek that knowledge or have somebody that's done it before that you're close to that's going to pass that down to you. But it makes it a little bit more difficult just when it comes to accessibility and things like that. But Maurice, I wanted to let everybody know. I mean, we just started. We're going to have some people filing in. And
Okay.
normally, like I say,
Good setup.
every Thursday, 12 o'clock, basically we have a setup where we ask people to ask you guys different questions and things like that. A lot of folks are looking to buy their first home, second home, third home, or looking to invest in rentals and multi units and all that kind of stuff. So it's usually a good mixed bag of people. And I wanted to bring you on because you're a part of NACA, and that's one program that has consistently been brought up question wise. And I'm not an expert at NACA. So I wanted to make sure I reached out to somebody that is an expert that could provide some insight and knowledge and help these folks out when it comes to some of their own endeavors. So yeah, if you don't mind, man, introduce yourself, let everybody know what you do, who you represent, and your hustle.
I appreciate you for having me. First and foremost, a little bit about me is my name is Maurice McKinney. I'm the principal broker for NACA's Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Richmond, and Delaware offices. So I have 15 agents right now. We're looking to add more to agents. And I really just got in the game out of college. I was, I'm a part of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated.
Come on, man.
And yeah,
Come
yeah,
on,
man.
man.
That's
It's,
we
it's
stick it
right
down,
here,
Phi Delta
baby.
chapter. Oh, okay. I ain't gonna say nothing too crazy. My dad's an alpha. You know what I'm saying? You seem cool. A lot of alphas are
Yeah.
a little corny, but it's all good though.
It makes sense for
Y'all
the shirt. I
y'all y'all
see.
or, y'all organize. Y'all put stuff like this together. So we need each other in this community right now, especially with all this time and stuff that's going on right now. It's just we need
Yeah.
to all work together, hold divine nine.
And we
But
do what we can.
yeah. But see, what happened was I was looking for an internship my fifth year, partying, having a
Yeah.
good time in college, and it turned into fifth year. I got cut off, and I got my first job with this corporation called Super Value. One of my fraternity brothers, I told him I was looking for an internship. He said, "Hey, man, this company's hiring."
Yeah.
And there's people, it was a Fortune 100 company at that time. It was entry level. I was working with a merchandiser assistant, and it was just so redundant. And I was, if you back in the day, people used to get the little sales papers with the grocery store, what the sales were, five
Yeah.
boxes of cereal for $10, three
Yeah.
uh, cans of Mountain Dew or a box of Mountain Dew for $12. The
Oh,
same
I'm
sales
already
you see
knowing.
every year. You know, grandma used to cut them out and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Those are planned years in advance. It's the same sales. So what would happen was, you know, there'd be new products here and there, and I would work with merchandisers to make sure that, you know, the deals that were going to be, it's just essentially rebates.
Right.
A large corporation like Coca-Cola, Pepsi would rebate the large grocery store distributor for buying their products and getting them sold. So I was
Right.
just doing data entry. Hey, you know, this is the deal we just got with Coca-Cola. It's the same deal. And I would just be making spreadsheets all day nonstop. And I was there, and this older gentleman came by. He hired a whole bunch of young people fresh out of college. And this older guy who had been with the company, an executive, came by and was just greeting everyone because he had just retired or was about to retire. And I heard him talking to the guy at the cubicle next to me. Thank you, baby. With the cubicle next to me, saying, you know, when I first started, I had this look on my face just like you, and I couldn't imagine that here I am, 30 years now, I'm about to retire, and I didn't know how I was gonna do it, but I just did it, and here I am. And I was thinking, when I heard that, I was like, yo, he knew he didn't like this job from the first day.
Yeah.
He knew, and
Of
somehow
course.
30 years, bills, children, all these different things came, and 30 years now, here he is. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so here's the crazy part. I was with that company for about a year and some change, and after about my 6 months, we found out that he died.
Dang.
He had some type of aggressive form of cancer or something like that, and he passed away. And I said, at that point, that could never be me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that's when I started going to real estate school online. I started looking for different things that I wanted to do. I was going to open up an insurance company. I just had to get out of the cubicle, man. And that's what happened. And I joined Keller Williams down in Richmond, and I had a solid team. And I had this one lady down in Peter. Are you familiar with Virginia, Richmond area at all?
Not too much. I passed
Okay.
by it, but I
Okay.
haven't done anything in there.
Well, I don't know how much time we could talk. How much time we got? Because I could rap.
We usually roll for Instagram only gives us an hour.
Okay. All right,
Yeah, it
I'll be
only
quick.
gives us an hour.
I'll be quick. But long story short, I was chasing FSBOs, or sell by owners, for those out there who don't know what that is.
Yeah.
And I came across this listing down in Petersburg. It was one of my first listings. And what happened was I called the woman. She told me the story. She had some daughters that went to Virginia State, instead of them living in the dorms. Like a lot of conversation we were talking about is how investing in real estate can put you in certain positions.
Right.
So what happened with this, and this is my introduction to NACA. What happened is I called her. I was broke. Everything was going bad. I was just trying to get a FSBO, a listing. And she said, hey, I bought this property for my daughters that were going to Virginia State so they can have a duplex and they can live for free. And we were renting out the other side to help pay for my daughter's tuition.
Right.
The property was on a historic street in Petersburg, so it's worth some decent money. But in Petersburg, a lot of people buy properties out there to hold and just rent. You know, you can buy maybe a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom house for about $45,000 and rent it consistently about $800 a month. So, you know, in about 4 or 5 years, you'll get a full return on your investment, your cash flowing. You can pull the equity out. You can just do people are eating out there, right?
Yeah.
And so, but she knew what was going on, and she said, I'm not going to sell my property to one of these investors. If you can give me a legitimate buyer who's going to give me the true value of my property, we can rock like that. So I said, okay, you know, gave it a whole spiel. Hey, you know, I'm your guy, and I drove up to DC. I was broke, man. I drove up to DC, used my last money in the gas, and gave my whole, you know, Keller Williams listing presentation. And she said, and then I closed it. I said, you know, I did the ask. I said, hey, can I have your business? Can I have this listing? And she said, baby, I wouldn't have had you drive up here from Richmond if I wasn't going to give you this listing. She said, God told me that this was going to be big for you.
Right.
And the whole time I'm trying to keep it cool because this is my first listing. I don't want to let her know that, like, you know what I'm saying, I really needed this.
Yeah.
And but she's telling me God told her to give this to me. And so I'm just like, okay, thank you, ma'am, da-da-da. Long story short, or to make a long story longer, I'm hosting open houses in this area, Petersburg, Virginia, which is a dead town. Nobody's coming to these open houses, and if they are, they're investing, and we're getting super low ball offers.
Right.
And so I have to give her the report on how it went for the open house. every time she would call me, she'd say, baby, there's this program out there called NACA.
Mm.
God told me that you need to work for this program. It's going to change your life, and that you need to call these people. And at that time, there was no NACA office in Richmond. I had no clue what NACA was. Like,
Right.
I was like, okay, yes, ma'am. I'm just trying to get the listing and sell the property. Just, doing lip service. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so every time I would call her, I would bomb on the open house. I would get a bad offer. First question she would say to me is, did you call those people at NACA?
Yeah.
Did you call those people at NACA? And I said, you know what, ma'am? No, I didn't. Eventually she said, I'm going to have them call you. So they called me and they said, hey, look, we're looking to start a NACA office in Richmond, Virginia. This is back in 2016, early 2016.
Yeah.
They said, hey, we're looking to start a Richmond office. I said, look, I'm not trying to be in Richmond. The whole time I was about to get evicted. I owned a property management company.
Yeah.
I was collecting people's rent. I was late on my own rent. The company who was property managing the property I was renting was mad at me because I knew all the laws. You know what I'm saying? I was working at UPS, loading the trucks at night, like just doing everything, just doing the mess, trying to figure it out, just struggling.
Yeah.
And I said, look, if I can get back up to Northern Virginia, where my dad's crib is, my dad was gonna let me rent my old room out. He did me dirty. He didn't want me to get comfortable, so he was renting my old room out to me for $300 a month. I said, if I can get that, I'm gonna make this NACA thing shake.
Mm.
And that's what happened. And I've been with NACA for 4 years. I have helped single-handedly close over 150 NACA deals.
Yes,
I
sir.
now am the broker. I have 15 NACA agents. We're doing over 100 deals a year.
Yes, sir.
This year we'll probably do around 150, 200 deals a year, and we just serving the community. And we're just trying to spread the word and change lives and do well while doing good. And so I appreciate you for having me. And that's my introduction.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Appreciate it, bro.
Out here, man.
That's what happened. That's what happened.
Look, and those kind of beginnings, man, they bring a lot of character, especially when you got to hustle and grind for what you want. You know what I'm saying? And you make something out of nothing, and that builds a lot of character, and people see that, man. So that's some good stuff. Obviously, like I said, you work for NACA, man. Just kind of give us an idea of what NACA is, and we'll go into like some questions, because I know somebody's probably gonna have some questions regarding how it works or what they need to do to apply. But either way, we'll make it free. But we usually have some of the same folks that show up. We got Flex 215. We had the Builder Bay, Gabriel. What's going on? We had Keneal. That's my line brother. What's going on, brother? And we also got Mini Marty. How you living? So appreciate you guys for showing up. Remember, every Thursday is 12 o'clock. We're answering everything real estate related. Today we got my boy Maurice from NACA on the line with us. So Maurice, yeah, man, just explain to us kind of like what NACA is and how it's beneficial for us.
Okay, so I try to make things very simple because NACA is very nuanced. I'm gonna just give it in layman's terms. And if people want to go online, get the material, and read the textbook, and they can go do that. But I'm gonna just give them like the Cliff Notes version. All right.
Yeah.
So essentially, all NACA is a nonprofit mortgage brokerage.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is. So when you go to your bank, or you're using Rocket Mortgage or any of those type of things, the Rocket Mortgage is like a brokerage. They can shop your deal around. They can do different things. The only thing with NACA is your deal is going to be shopped directly to Bank of America. And what we do is help Bank of America fulfill their Community Investment Act. So what happens is you might hear about banks like Wells Fargo opening up accounts for people who didn't know they had accounts, and they had to go testify at Congress. Well, now the big thing people might have been seeing on social media lately, how it's been this biracial couple who went to do a refinance and they got their house appraised.
That was in Jacksonville, where I'm from.
That was in Jacksonville. So that stuff is not brand new, right? That stuff is not brand new. That continues to happen. But what happens is eventually somebody does get caught. And what happens is the CEO of that bank is going to have to come testify at Congress. And they're going to say, hey, did you know that these practices were going on and da-da-da? And then, you're going to see AOC and everybody else just start grilling them. Then at the end of the day, they're going to say, okay, your punishment is you're going to have to give these affordable loans to people, to moderate to low income people. Then the bankers, they come back their account and say, well, damn, it's going to be expensive if we create a branch in our office dedicated to these marginal income people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to cost us a lot of money. And we already got to pay penalties for these predatory behaviors.
Yeah.
So let's see how we can get around this. So what they do is they find a nonprofit mortgage brokerage or company like NACA and say, hey, you know what? If you find the buyers, you do all the heavy lifting, you get them qualified, and you have them meet the criteria that we're going to agree on, we guarantee you that we're going to give them the loan for the house. And so what happens is NACA does all the work, they do all the qualification, they do all the workshop, they do all the marketing, they bring the people in.
Yeah.
You have a mortgage counselor, which is nothing but a loan officer, but we counsel you. We're never going to just deny you because you know something's going on in your credit. We're going to counsel you until the point that you're ready to get qualified.
Gotcha.
Then once you get qualified, me and my team, or even if you have an outside agent like yourself, if you refer people to NACA, because we respect outside business because we got to work together. Yeah. They come back to their agents. And then once the deal is under contract, everything is completely the same. If you went to any other bank, you get them under contract, but when you close, Bank of America is going to give you the money for your mortgage. And you're going to pay your mortgage to Bank of America.
Got it.
That's all NACA is. That's all NACA is. And we used to have Citibank was a part of that too. Yeah. And they kind of fulfill what they needed to fulfill. And now it's strictly Bank of America. Wow. And NACA's campaigning against Wells Fargo. And then when we find out who did your people wrong in Jacksonville, you're probably going to see a NACA campaign out there. And that's how it works. That's what it is.
No, man, that sounds very, very beneficial. I mean, I know we spoke a couple weeks ago about NACA, but I might have missed the first 5 minutes if that was in the first 5 minutes. But yeah, very robust program, it seems like. And I want to open it up to some folks that have questions. So, guys, remember, if you guys have any questions, see that little question mark down there in the middle of the screen. Click that, post your questions in there. I'll post it up to the screen so everybody can see it. Remember, we got Maurice on here, who's also, like I said, a NACA representative. Man, he knows what he's talking about. So if you guys are interested in buying your first house, second house, whatever, if you're interested in using the program, ask any question down below. It looks like we already got some questions from Reggie. Actually, that's my boy Reggie. We're working together right now to try to get him a crib. So,
okay.
Where's my Reggie says?
I saw one question said. Go ahead.
Yeah, he says, do sellers look at NACA offers strange?
They may. I'm gonna keep it real with you. They may look at it strange, depending on what your offer is like. So, right now, no matter if you use a NACA, you're going to Navy Federal. Even if you're a veteran, you're using VA, you're using FHA, you're using HPAP, any type of home buyer program where it's not cash, your offer is getting looked at funny. That's just what's going on. Right now, sellers are looking for whoever is going to close the quickest and who's going to give them the most. And if you're using any program, whether it's NACA or any program, you're not going to be the quickest. And chances are, if you're using 100% financing or some type of heavy amount of seller of bank financing, you're not going to be able to close that fast. There's going to be a lot of criteria, a lot of underwriting. So yes, sellers are looking at any offer that's not cash strange.
Yep.
But what I tell my clients is, hey, look, in this market, you're not getting a deal. If you're not an investor and you're not buying something cash or using hard money, you're not getting a deal. The only deal you're going to get is your type of financing, the interest rate. Are you going to have private mortgage insurance? Is it going to be a fixed rate mortgage? Is it going to be adjustable rate mortgage? Is it going to be 5 years, 15 years, 30 years? That is the only deal that's out there. So all those people who got an uncle who bought a house in 2008 and the cousin who said, I got it for $50,000, that's done. We might be coming to that time again, maybe in the next year or two.
Yeah, 12 months.
12 months, 12 to 24 months, it might be if you could hold out, but who knows? But right now, the price is going through the roof. But at the end of the day, yes, people are looking at any offer that's not cash strange. So what that means is you need to be competitive. If I'm a seller and I see a person coming with cash, and if I got cash, I'm moving my weight around. You know what I'm saying? If I got cash and the offer price, the seller's asking $275,000.
Yeah,
I'd be like, yo, I'll give you $265 and I can close it in 14 days.
I'm taking it.
The seller's taking that. They're taking that.
Look, no
Now, if you
inspections, no nothing.
no inspections, no nothing. Matter of fact, I'll give you 250 cash.
Right.
They're gonna start. Cash.
And sometimes they'll take a lower offer just because it's cash. If
You're
somebody's got a
exactly right.
loan and they got cash and they 10K less, that seller might take 10K less because it's not included contingency. They
Nothing.
no 45, 60 day, 90 day closing, none of that.
Nothing.
You
None of
know,
that. No underwriting. No appraisals. None of
none of
that.
that, none of that.
So that's what's going on in this market, especially for this first-time home buyer market, like $350,000 below. I'm seeing a lot of cash offers. I don't know where people coming with this cash, but they got it. I'm seeing it
Yeah,
every day. I just had a phone call with 15 of my agents, people out here.
yeah,
So, so that's that to give you the shoot the real. That is what's going on. But
yeah.
what you can do is you can offer 10, 15, $25,000 above asking,
Mm.
because at the end of the day, these properties still have to appraise.
They still got to appraise.
They still got to appraise. And so if a seller is like, all right, look, 250,000 cash sound like a sure bet,
Yeah.
but if this person, I'm asking 275, this person telling me they'll give me 300,
Hmm.
do I want to take the gamble that it may appraise for 300 and miss out on $50,000?
I tell you right now, I'm probably gonna try to go ahead
What,
and take that 300.
you gonna take that 300?
I'm gonna try to take
I'll
that
take my
300.
shot on 300. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What's another 50K to the deal?
So that's what's going on. So if you're gonna use NACA,
Hmm.
you need to be smart. You need to be realistic of what's going on in the market. You are not a cash buyer. You're not going to get a deal right now in this market. But if
Yeah.
you're committed to understanding I call it the cost of doing business.
Right.
The cost of doing business is you're going to pay a premium for a house right now.
Yep.
But the benefit of that is your interest rate is going to be lower than it's ever have been. In addition to that, NACA may allow you to buy your interest rate down all the way to 0.125%, which
Tell them again. Hold
nobody
on.
is going
Hold
to allow
on.
you to
Hold
do.
on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Tell them that again. Tell them that again. Whee! Hey, what a sirens at? Tell them that again. One more time, bro.
NACA, if you're a certain member, and we can get more into it, but if you are a person whose median income is $114,000 or below,
Hmm.
you can buy your interest rate down to 0.125%. That is the deal. That's the deal. So if you got to spend $25,000 more on a house, which you're not coming out of your pocket, people get emotional with it. And I understand because it's their house, and I'm an investor, so I look at things different. But
Yeah.
if you're going to finance $25,000, which may cost you maybe $50 more on a mortgage every month.
Right.
But at the end of the day, NACA is going to be paying all your majority of your closing costs. NACA is going to potentially allow you to have a 0.125% interest rate, and you're not going to have any private mortgage insurance. That's called the cost of doing business. You can't get everything, baby. Like you gotta
Ooh.
give.
Yeah, that's
You
love.
you gotta give.
Wow. 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 So that's crazy. To think that your interest rate can be that low.
It's the only thing out there. And I'm telling you, the banks aren't in love with the bank doesn't like to do this. Remember I said earlier, this
Yeah.
is a penalty for doing predatory lending.
Yeah.
So, if Trump gets another 4 years, they might start deregulating things
Yeah. I can see that.
to
I
get
mean, I can see
keep the
that.
economy moving. They're gonna
And
start
we
giving this
already
money out even easier.
they already giving it out right now. The money, like if you fit the criteria, the money's cheap. The standards have gone up. I had a guy ask me yesterday about his credit score, and I'm like, yeah, probably 8 months ago they would have went with that credit score.
Right,
Now
right,
it's a little bit different.
right.
And I could see the same thing happening in another, when things, from our opinions go that way.
Hmm.
I could see the money being even cheaper. It's just more stringent for the criteria,
Yep.
And so they're not going to want people to stop buying houses, right? They're just not. They're going to always need that part of the economy to keep going and keep moving. So whatever happens, best believe there's still going to be ways to come out here and buy houses. The money's only going to get cheaper. You just have to make sure your affairs are in order, your personal affairs are in order, And so I want to kind of segue that into my next question, which actually is everybody else's question. But we do got some more people that joined in. Let's see, the Ella B show. What's going on, Ella? Sneaker Fiend's already in. Glorious. No, Glamorous Rose. How you doing? Reggie, Brian Atkinson, Slick Rick, Easy Dubs, Kristen. What's going on, Kristen? And obviously we got Camille still up in here, man, showing love. But yeah, I think our next question, I think you can kind of broadly talk about this because it seems to be a couple people's question. But the criteria and the process to start working with NACA and what's it like throughout the process. And I'll go ahead and ask that, what do people need to do prior to reaching out to folks like NACA when they want to buy a house? So the
Okay.
process and how should they prepare?
Well, the first step of the process is going to NACA.com. That's www.naca.com.
Right.
Right now, it's a very special time because you can do everything online. Appointments
Mm-hmm.
are a little bit quicker, and if you're qualified, they will try to qualify you as soon as possible. Now, I see a
Right.
question: how long does the process take? That's based on the person's situation. What you're going to see
Mm-hmm.
online and on the forums is, oh, NACA takes forever to get qualified. It's a horrible process. I couldn't talk to my mortgage counselor. The truth, I'm gonna give you all the real truth about
Give
NACA.
them the
What's
real
going on
deal, man.
internal?
Give them the
What's
real
going
deal,
on
man.
internally?
Give
What's
them the real
going on?
deal.
What's going on is that NACA mortgage counselors are loan officers and counselors. What that means is that if you are a qualified candidate and you come to them and they know that your finances are in place, they get paid on commission when you close.
Mm,
So it's in their best interest that you get a home.
mm,
No one at NACA is trying to prevent you from getting a home. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
when people are saying, "Hey, my mortgage counselor was dragging out the process take long," the truth is that that person was not qualified. Not that the mortgage
Gotcha.
counselor didn't want to spend their time with them. So now let's get to talk about what does it mean to be qualified.
Yeah.
So some of the
Yeah.
basic things: you have to be employed for 2 years.
Gotcha.
Okay. If you haven't been employed for 2 years, you could have been a full-time student for 1 year and then been a full-time employee for the second year.
Right.
Okay. No 30-day gaps in employment in this time. So if you sat out during COVID, you've had the job, but you said, "Hey, look, yo, I'm gonna take time off. I'm not gonna work," and then we still don't have the way that we're going to analyze that. So you might still fall into that. You need to have been consistently working for 2 years.
Right.
Additionally, one of the biggest things, your credit score does not matter.
Mm,
Credit score does not matter. So it's no credit score that you got to have. But what does matter is your credit history.
gotcha.
NACA is going to pull your credit, right? And what they're going to look for is any missed payments in the last 2 years. So if, in your credit report, when they pull your credit card, they're going to see everything that's going on. If you have anything that shows that it was 30 days late, you're going to have to write what's called a letter of explanation and explain why I was late. If it
Yeah.
was late because you went on vacation, that's not going to rock. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's not acceptable. So,
Yeah.
but if it's a medical issue, you got into a car accident, you had a family emergency, it was a billing dispute, you were a victim of fraud, and you're going to write letters. The underwriters may look at that and say, "Hey, you know what? It was a one-time thing, or maybe this was an ongoing thing because of the victimization from fraud. So
Yeah.
we might let this go." All right. So that's another
Question.
thing. If you haven't, yes,
Side note. What if it is a scenario where somebody just ain't have it? How
it's
is that
real.
looked upon?
So what they're gonna
Hey,
say is,
I had to choose between
I
that and
have
I ain't have it. I ain't have it.
So what NACA is gonna say is, "Look, I understand you didn't have it, but the bank not gonna want to hear that when they give you a mortgage. So
Yeah.
what we're gonna do is we're gonna give you what's called an action plan. So what NACA is gonna do is say, okay, from that month that you didn't have it, we're gonna, depending on how bad that I didn't have it was. If your I didn't have it was just you missed one or two bills
Yeah.
versus I didn't have it and I didn't pay bills for the next 3 months, it's a whole
Yeah.
different ballgame. Because what
Gotcha.
NACA does, NACA prides itself, because they don't have the credit score criteria, they call it character-based lending. So they're looking at
Mm.
your character. What happened? Why didn't you have it? So if you just had emergency and you didn't have it, one of two things is going to happen. NACA is going to say, "Hey, look, we're going to put this letter together and see if the underwriter will accept it.
Mhm.
If they don't accept it, you need to have 12 consistent months of no missed or late payments. So for those people who are in that situation, they want to know how long their process is going to be. It's going to be at least 12 months from that time they didn't have it.
Gotcha. So
You with me?
if you, let's say the underwriter dings you for whatever reason, you're going to get put on an action plan, and that could potentially, based off your scenario, may take up to 12 months to get through the action plan before
At
you can
least.
actually be put in the position to buy through NACA.
Exactly. Because I
Got it.
mean, at the end of the day, and it's not NACA underwriter, it's your credit. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
a lot of people like to think that NACA is the villain because NACA didn't qualify them in a quick fashion or whatever. It didn't work out for them because they didn't want to do what they needed to do. But at the end of the
Yeah.
day, they missed the payment. NACA's never going to deny you, because what's going to happen if you go to some bank and your credit is shaky and what's something going on, they might
Yeah.
just say, when you try to get the pre-approval, they might just say denied.
Mm.
And you don't know
Yeah.
why you got denied.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna say, hey, sorry.
It's not it. Right now, it's not
It's
time.
not it. Yeah.
So NACA doesn't do that. They won't do that for anybody. Even if you're unemployed and you schedule for a meeting, they're gonna say like, all right, this guy's wasting my time, but we still gonna get this guy an action plan. What's going to
Yeah.
happen once this person is employed, and what do they need to do to be in the right position? So that's going to be that's the determinant factor of your process. The other
Yeah.
thing is what NACA does that other banks don't do is NACA has this thing called payment shock, which a
Mm.
lot of people walk away from the program because, all right, so what happens is if you go to a traditional bank and you, let's say you have a debt to income ratio, which means your debts minus your income, and it suggests that you can afford, let's say, a $350,000 house.
Right.
Even if you've been living at your mama's crib your whole career, you never even paid rent. You lived in the dorms, then from the dorms you went to your mom's crib. You never paid a utility bill. You never paid anything. The bank, a traditional bank, may just say, hey, look, you qualify for it. We're going to give you this mortgage. Once you get in that crib, you can figure that out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, you
Gotcha.
have a higher level of default, but statistically and looking at your financials, you can afford the house, they're going to give you the loan.
They're gonna give it to you.
NACA doesn't do that.
Yeah.
NACA is going to say, okay, look, sir, ma'am, you can afford to buy this $350,000 house. And what NACA is going to do is give you a monthly payment, because $350,000 looks differently in different places.
Right.
Just because of property taxes, HOA, condo fee. So NACA is going to say something like, look, we're going to qualify you. Your debt to income ratio suggests that you can afford a mortgage of $2,000 a month.
Mm.
And depending on where you want to buy that $2,000, can afford you up to $350,000. Right? But they're going to say, look, we think you can afford a mortgage of $2,000, but we see you've never even had an apartment.
Gotcha.
Right?
Gotcha. Yes.
So they're going to say you need to do payment shock. They're going to say for the next 6 months, although you are ready to be qualified now, if you go somewhere else, you can go qualify, but you're going to pay a whole bunch of money. They're not going to give you that good of a deal. You can go do that. But if you want to mess with us, for 6 months, we need to see that you're saving that $2,000 every month.
Mm.
So one of the big things in financing is paying yourself first. And what that's going to do is replicate you paying a mortgage.
Mm.
So even if you're the most qualified person out there, if that's your case, you never paid rent, you never had that type of responsibility, it's going to be at least a 6-month process before you get qualified, because they're going to want to see that you're saving $2,000 a month. And the reason why is you'll be surprised. I deal with all type of clients, from DC government to attorneys to doctors to your bus driver, the subway person that work at Subway. NACA has like the biggest range of people that come through NACA's doors to use the loan.
Right.
What I would say, my highest income earners, people that make over $100,000 or more, they're the worst savers. They're the worst savers. They got a $700 car note because they want the BMW. They go out every evening and every weekend with their friends. They buying bottles. They getting fly.
You already know.
So they coming to buy a house.
Yeah.
They coming to buy a house, and next thing you know, this person been making $120,000 a year, but they only got $5,000 saved.
They ain't got nothing to show for it.
And then they see their friends and their coworkers. Well, my friend got the house, and but you don't really know what your friend got going on.
You don't know nothing, man.
You just know what you see on the ground. You know what I'm saying? And so that's one of the biggest things that NACA tries to stop, because if you go to a new construction community right now,
Yeah.
I guarantee you, what you're gonna see is a whole bunch of brand new BMWs and Mercedes right outside the brand new house.
Mm-hmm. You already know.
And that's how I know that's not we think that looks like success. That's not success. What I see is that
It's
debt to
not.
income ratio going through the roof. You know what
Shit,
I'm
sky
saying?
high. Sky
Sky
high.
high. And so and what's gonna happen is I'm gonna be representing a NACA member in about 2-3 years, and we're gonna be buying that crib in foreclosure. That's probably what's
Mm.
gonna be happening. But NACA doesn't want that to happen to you.
Yeah.
So what NACA is gonna say is, all right, look, 6 months, we see right now you're going to Starbucks every month, you're going out to eat, you're going on vacations. What we're gonna want to
Yeah.
see is that you still maintain the life that you think you can do, but we need to see $2,000 in true savings every month.
Mm.
But you can do it. You can do it a couple different ways. One, you can just open up a savings, and it's not you spending your credit card, but you saving your cash. That's not
Right.
saving. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's where a lot of people get mixed up.
Right.
What NACA want to see is you doing one or two things. One, you literally saving $2,000 in an account every month, and they're looking at all your accounts, and you go from $0 to 2,000 to 4,000 to 6,000 up, and that
Right.
stays the same. Or you can simply just, if you got, let's say, $12,000 in credit card bills, you pay your credit card
Paid it
bills
off.
off.
Yeah.
2,000, paid it off, and not lump sums. Not that banks are not impressed by lump sums. They're impressed by consistency.
Yeah.
So if you put $4,000 away this month, and then only $1,000 away the next month, and then $2,000, that you all over the place. They're
Hmm.
gonna want to see that you consistently are either saving or paying off debt for that 6 months. And
Gotcha.
what you're gonna see is from the people who are successful with NACA, their credit scores shoot through the roof. They buy their house, they have very low debt because
Yeah.
they utilize those two strategies of either paying off their debt or saving in order before getting in the home.
Gotcha. So
Now, okay, go ahead.
no, what I was gonna say, it seems like so NACA is not your ordinary bank, just like Marie said, where you go to a bank and they deny you. They just want that application, and it's either you accepted or you're denied, and that's really kind of it. But NACA seems to take a more personal approach and actually wants to see, anybody that they're working with, a better well-being for them personally. And so when they start looking into your finances and offering these counseling services, um, that's worth its weight in gold because I mean, again, you can get those banks that's going to put you in a $300,000 house and you don't have no history of ever paying $2,000 a month, and you get in there, you struggle, because
Right.
you don't have good savings habits, you don't know how to do X, Y, Z, and all, and prioritize and all that kind of stuff. It looks nice now, but 5 years later, you foreclosed on. So NACA seems to be like, look, we're here to help y'all out, but we're also here to prevent y'all from getting in any type of trouble. And that seems like a very, very beneficial program if you ask me. And I talk about this whenever the hard money topic comes up, or where do I go to find hard money? I say find a local lender. There's a bunch of national hard money lenders, but they're not going to know your city. They're not going to know your streets. They're not going to know your ARVs around the area, and they're not going to know if a deal is a bad deal or not because they're not in that community. Some deals aren't straight up. Some deals aren't straightforward. So I tell them to go find a local lender that knows the market, that knows the area, that's going to say, hey, we're not going to lend to you on this deal hard money wise because it's a bad deal. We know this area. So same thing with NACA. You can see how they kind of embrace you. So definitely dope, man. I think the criteria is worth people checking out. I know we got a couple more people that joined in. Corey, Zach Davis, I'm Bookie, Devin, my line brother Devin. We got some more questions here too as well. Looks like from Camille. But remember, guys, every Thursday, 12 o'clock, answering anything, everything real estate. Right now, while you guys are watching, screenshot us talking, and then post it to you guys' story and tag us in this and let tag people to let folks know what we're doing. Because every time somebody else new comes in here and asks a question, it's a question you guys probably wasn't thinking about, and that's going to help you out. Also, if you guys have people you want me to reach out to for the next show or down the road, I can do that as well. You see, we got Maurice on here dropping these gems about NACA. So I want to make sure that we continue to make progress and get more people on here. Sneaker Fiend, of course. Hey, Sneaker Fiend's loyal, man. So is Keneal. But yeah, we got another question from Keneal. He says, "How long does and Sneaker Fiend? I see your question too." Um, Keneal says, "How does NACA work with deferred student loan debt?"
Okay. That's a good question. So when NACA pulls that credit report, like we were talking about earlier, they're only going to look at your minimum required payments for all your debts. So if you got a car
Yeah,
loan, just the minimum payment. If you got credit cards, if you got a couple hundred on it and the minimum payment's only $50, that's all they're
yeah,
looking at. When it comes to your student loans, once you get awarded that, like let's say if you got a deferment that's let's say you either have a deferment or you have one of those like the hard time thing where they make your payment $0 or something like that,
yeah,
and you have to get it changed every year. You know what I'm talking? I
yeah.
forgot what it's called. But when you
Uh,
get that, I
Not
forgot what
registered.
it is, but
Yeah.
I got that before. And what happens is on that paper, in that sentence where it tells you your new payment is going to be $100, your new payment is going to be $0, it's going to say at the end of this 12-month term, your payment will be $1,000. It will be XYZ, and that is what NACA is going to look at. So although you have a deferred payment, they're going to want a letter from whoever your provider was for the loan of what your loan, they want to know what your loan will be when
Hmm.
whatever agreement that you have ends. And that's what they're going to do, is to subtract
Ah,
off your debt to income ratio.
got you. So, and I have never deferred student loan payments. I don't really know too much about it. Um, but so you're saying that they're going, does it matter? Like, is there a time period in which they defer these loans, or is it standard like a year or 5 years, or it differs for everybody?
Even if you have a deferment for however long your deferment is for,
Yeah.
NACA, I don't know how other lenders do it. Other lenders might say, hey, you got a deferment for 5 years. We're not even going to count that in your debt to income ratio. That might be how other lenders do it.
Yeah.
NACA says, I don't care how long your deferment is. That's still a real loan out there.
Yeah.
We need some documentation that shows whenever your arrangement is finished, what
Hmm.
will your monthly minimum payment be? And
Mm.
that's what they're going to look at.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Because I mean, eventually it's going to tack on to the loan at some point anyway.
It's going to do something. It ain't going to disappear,
Yeah.
you know.
Exactly. I
But
got
I do
another
want to backtrack
question.
on something else that I was saying, though, that I do want to,
Yeah.
that I left open. I gave the scenario about the person who has been living at home, that's qualified for a $2,000 mortgage, and they might have to wait 6 months.
Yeah.
But let's say you're that person who's been already paying $2,500 a month for rent.
Yeah.
Your process, you can get qualified in 2-3 weeks, because if you have all your documents taken care of, your debt to income ratio is correct, you haven't missed any payments, you've been employed, that's a
Yeah.
green light.
Yeah.
And so what's going to happen, if that's your case, the mortgage counselor, the first time they meet with you, they're going to send your file to underwriting,
Yeah.
and they're going to probably get it approved, right? So those people, there are people like that who's like, when I have I used to host the workshops in person, I'd be like, who had a tough time? There'd be some people like, yo, I didn't even know that NACA was tough. Like, I just sent them all my documents. Da, da, da. Everybody in the
Yeah.
room looking at them crazy, because it is rare. But
Yeah.
keep in mind, these, yeah, someone said income driven repayment. That's what it is. That's what it is. But
Gotcha.
what these mortgage counselors, they're human beings. They get paid on commission. They get paid when you close. So if you come into your first meeting and you got the NACA workbook, and it's online on the NACA website, and you have a checklist of all the items, and it's already uploaded into your file, they're going to say, yo, I'm going to spend all my time working with this person because I know they mean business.
Right. And
You
they're
know,
gonna be able to close.
they're going to be able to close. So you can get all their attention. And that's really the secret. It's not really a secret. It's just, kind of being a little professional, knowing what you want, going after what you want.
Yeah.
And
So
that's how you do it.
so right now they can go on the website and see what NACA wants, download that checklist, and start
Yep.
preparing. Essentially, right?
Literally, just get a file every day. Just start putting it together. And there's people that do that, and they go from their first. Right now, it's about a 3-month waiting time to see a
Yeah.
mortgage counselor. But they go that 3 months to meet their mortgage counselor, and they're getting a qualification about a month later, and now they out on the market shopping.
But if you got to
Or you
wait those 3 months and to meet with mortgage counselor, you have nothing together, then you got to go wait an additional 12
3 to 6
months or
months.
how 3 to 6 months.
to meet with them again.
Yeah.
So if you come there together, even if you're stuff together on day one and you meeting with the person and you don't have nothing together and you thinking, hey, you listen to this, you heard Maurice said that if my stuff is together, I'm gonna get qualified on the spot. No, it
Yeah.
don't work like that. Your stuff still needs to be. They're not gonna sit there for 2-3 hours waiting for you to pull documents up and upload them. You need to have everything together. And right now,
Exactly.
what NACA has this campaign called Achieve the Dream, where they're qualifying people on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys go to the NACA website and you see when the Achieve the Dream event is, if you're one of those people that are ready to go now, you can sit in this online webinar, meet a mortgage counselor the same day, and get qualified the same day.
Mm.
So y'all got to constantly check the NACA website.
No excuses for you guys that got your stuff together out there. No excuses. But no, I want to move because I think we got probably about another 10 minutes. And Sneaker Feeds got 2 questions I want you to answer. Again, shout out to everybody that's just joined in, dropped in. Devin, Faith, what's going on? Stephon, appreciate y'all showing up. Remember, screenshot us, share, post it to our to your story, tag us so everybody knows what's going on. Drop some gems every Thursday, 12 o'clock. Maurice, I got 2 questions for you. We got from Sneaker Fiend, could you house hack with NACA? And then the other question is, which is better, a NACA loan or an FHA loan?
Yeah, the first question, can you house hack with NACA? Yes. The only rule is that you have to keep that property as long as you have your NACA loan as your primary address. So if you can either buy a multi-unit and you keep 1 unit as your home base and you rent the other 3 units, you can do that. Or you can buy a single family home and rent out all the rooms in the basement. But you have to keep 1 room in that house yours. Okay. If not, if they find out that you were using the property as an investment property, you sign a document before you close that NACA could put a $25,000 lien onto the property.
Woo! We don't want to play with no $25,000 lien.
Yeah, but it's something simple as like right now, me and my girl, we're at our we have a co-op in DC. You know, I'm in the process of trying to get some property in Baltimore that I'm gonna be moving my businesses to. If I decide to move down to Baltimore and have a home, I'm still want a spot in DC. So it's just don't rent out.
Man, I'm in Baltimore.
All right. So, don't rent out the full condo. You can rent out a room in the condo, or you can put your cousin in there, but don't rent out the whole place essentially, unless you want to refinance. If you refinance out your NACA loan, which you can do at any time, you can sell at any time. And one of the big things about NACA that's better than any other home buyer programs out here is that NACA does not take away any of your equity. So if you use some type of some HPAP program, some other type of programs where they give you down payment assistance, you sometimes have to pay that money back if you don't live in that property long enough. You get what I'm saying? NACA, once you buy the house, that is yours. If someone the next week after you close comes and knocks on your door, give you a story about how this was their childhood home and they want to give you $100,000 above what you paid for it, NACA is not going to have any problem with that. But some other programs may, and they're going to say, hey, you got to give us a piece of that money.
Yeah, you got to give us a piece of that. Nah, that's dope. I didn't know anything about that, actually. Let me see. Because I know we got another question. Yeah, they coming in.
It was 2. I answered the first one, but I didn't. The second one was house hacking.
The second one is which is better, NACA or FHA loan, and why? Faith, I do see your question. I'll put that one up next.
It depends. If you want to buy quickly and you don't mind having private mortgage insurance and maybe a higher interest rate and paying your own closing costs, then FHA is going to be the one for you. If you want fast, NACA is not fast, right? So if that's what your plan is, you want to be in a house by the end of September and you haven't even been qualified. Or sorry, the end of we about to be in October?
No, we're about to be in September.
Okay, so if you want to be in by the end of September, FHA may be able to make that happen for you. It's not happening with NACA. But if you have a little bit more time and you don't have money for a down payment, because FHA requires a 3.5% down payment. If you don't have money for a down payment, if you don't have money for closing costs, if you don't want to pay an extra $100 to $300 a month in private mortgage insurance, and if you don't want to have a higher interest rate, then that is nothing out there that can beat NACA. The only thing is you're going to have to go through this process of them vetting you more than any other buyer would using another loan program, and you're going to have the wait time to get met. But if your financial situation is in check and you don't have any missed payments and all your documentation is good,
Yeah.
Once you do have that first meeting, you can get qualified within 2 to 4 weeks, and then you off and shopping. So, my mom used to always tell me convenience costs you more every time. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So if
Right.
you want the convenience, you're going to pay a premium. If you gonna wait, you're going to get a good deal.
Just like hard money, which I use. Guess what? I'm paying a premium to
Every
use
month.
hard money. But
Interest only.
guess what? Yeah, but I have access to cash right now. If I wanted to buy a deal right now, I'm closing next week on it. But best believe I have a very high interest rate, and it's a very short-term loan. So you got to pay the price to use these products however best fits your scenario, whether you're going the scale route, which is me scale, or you're going the long-term route, which a product like NACA would be beneficial for you. Let's see, we got another question. Stefan says this is definitely enlightening, brothers. Love it. Appreciate the love,
Appreciate you.
man. We do this for y'all, man. It's not for us. We are in our respective lines of business every day. And I just want to make sure that we can drop some gems to you guys and have people accessible and ready to you so you can ask these questions without feeling scared or just not knowing who to talk to, XYZ. So we got a question from Faith the Great. Faith is an agent out here, and she's real deal Holyfield. I'm glad she actually joined. She's got a question for you. What can real estate agents do to help their clients during the process?
During the process of getting qualified, there's not really much you can do. What you can do before they meet with their mortgage counselor is make sure you go into the NACA website, you download the home buyer workbook,
Mm-hmm.
and you're making sure they have all those items together before they meet their mortgage counselor.
Mm-hmm.
If you just send them to NACA and let them figure it out, you're doing them a disservice. Because literally, NACA is giving what you need to get qualified in this workbook, document per document.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So if you want to have a meeting with your client and say, hey, before their appointment, you say, hey, look, do you have this? And you say, hey, yes, I have it. Do you have this? Yes, I have it. Then by the time they go to that appointment, they're going to have a way better turnaround time than someone else who doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that you can do. The other thing that you can do once your client is qualified is make sure that you attend our real estate agent workshop, which is every Tuesday.
Yeah.
Before I took over as the broker at NACA for the last 20 years in the DC office, there's only been 1 or 2 agents. It's been a broker and an agent. And the DC office has been doing like 250 to 350 loans a year for the last 20 years. So that means they probably combined were only doing 50 deals a year. So that means 200 deals in the last 15 to 16 years were going to people who had no clue what they were doing when they were using NACA. And that's why NACA has a bad reputation in the market of taking forever, because there was no requirement to come get education on how NACA works. And you just had this influx of buyers working with agents who didn't know what they were doing. And now the deals take forever to close. And people saying, I'll never take another NACA deal. Those days are over. One, because I got a team of 15 agents and we're doing majority of NACA deals. But agents can still build their own businesses around NACA. You can't market yourself as NACA affiliate or anything at all. But if you do have a client that is a NACA type of client, meaning they don't have a lot of reserves, you can make sure that they're prepared. You can make sure that you go to the NACA website and sign up for the realtor workshop so you learn about the process, and you can make sure you close a deal quickly, because you can close a deal for NACA within 35 to 45 days if you and your client are on it.
Gotcha. We got
That's what you can do.
I hope that answers your question, Faith. We just now got the notice. I got probably about a minute left before they shut me off. Before I leave, real quick, just want to thank you, Maurice, for showing up. We've been on for an hour. This is our 18th week of doing real estate Q&A questions every Thursday, 12 o'clock. Just dropping gems for y'all. This isn't for me. This isn't for Maurice. This is for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Only thing I ask is basically just shout us out in your story and let folks know what we're doing every week. And if they didn't make this week, let them come next week. Also, this show, as well as every single show that we do record, is dropped in my feed after we close. So if you need to go back, you can go back and listen. Also, I just created an OnlyFans, so I'm going to be dropping all this content on my OnlyFans too as well. Feel free to subscribe. I'm going to have some different content on there, and then we're going to be on YouTube. So 25 seconds left. Reese, thank you. Where can they find you at?
My Instagram is Maurice McKinney Incorporated or Inc. Maurice McKinney Inc. or Neighborhood Uplift, and
All
you
right,
can find
guys.
me there.
Oh, all right. I gotta end before 10 seconds, or it's gonna not save. See you guys soon. Appreciate you guys showing up. Peace.
All right, guys.